Hello, welcome to another discussion. Today I thought I would bring about a subject which is very important to myself, and I think this will be important for everybody else out there, and that is positive self-talk. The way you interact with yourself, the words that you use, the attitude that you have, the mentality that you have. It's all informed by the self-talk. And I meet a lot of people who are sometimes depressed, anxious, and they're generally self-effacing. They tend to denigrate themselves. They tend to have a negative interaction and dialogue with themselves. And I think this is a really big deal because I hear it so much from other people. The connection to themselves is always slightly, like I said, self-effacing. They become a nemesis to themselves, an enemy to themselves. And a lot of that is reinforced by the language, the words that they use. And it's a habit that people have to get out of. You have to purge that, because the language that you're using to talk about yourself, when people say, I am this, I am that, it's very, very important. It has a profound effect on your own personal psychology. So I think people need to create new rituals, new habits in regards to their own rhetoric, their own narrative that they speak about themselves. And it's not easy because there has to be some sort of gratitude in place. And a lot of people will say, oh, I just can't do it. I don't mean it when I say it. But you have to practice it. Everything takes practice. So if you're waking up in the morning and saying, I feel like shit, I am shit, I'm not good at this, I can't do that, it will have effect. It will have a direct effect on your physiological structure, because your cortisol levels will be high, your hormones will be alternating. It will have an effect on your body. It will have an effect on your posture. It will have an effect on the way you move. Cortisol levels will go up, which is the stress hormone. Likely you will get more inflammation, more disease. And then you will in turn push yourself into anxiety. You'll push yourself into mental illness and depression. I do think there is a correlation, because people get into a habit. It becomes cyclical of how they talk to themselves. The glass is always half empty. The words that they use denigrate themselves. They become, like I said, self-effacing. Now, I'm not saying when you change the language you need to be completely grandiose, self-aggrandizing, exalting yourself to a point of you have a massive ego. But you have to at least attempt it. And you have to start to embed this into your daily rituals, your daily routine. It needs to be routinized. It needs to be rendered into your psyche and your consciousness about just how fucking important it is to have positive self-talk. A lot of people talk about gratitude journals. Maybe write it down. If that's your way, do it. But you have to practice it. It's not something that just happens. It's something that takes effort, focus, concentration. You need to be diligent with it. You need to be focused with it. But it's fucking important. So just start changing the language and the semantics that you use to describe yourself. Rather than say, I can't do this, say, no, I can do it. Just basic stuff. Start to have some sort of reverence for yourself. Start to to venerate yourself a little bit, put yourself on a pedestal. And you can do that, not with action, but you can do it with language first. And what will happen is your actions will start to be informed by your language, and vice versa. They will both reflect each other. So if you start to say, yeah, I can do this, I can learn this new thing that I need to learn, your body will start to pay attention. And then you will start to do it. And then you have to start forcing yourself into those situations. If you say, I can go to the gym, then just go and just do it. And the actions will follow. And then the actions will then inform your language. They both reflect each other. But for me, it's important to start thinking about the language that you are using. The vernacular that you are using, start to make it positive. Positive self-talk. I can do this, I can do that. I am intelligent. I can get women. I can learn new things. And just practice it. Make it part of your ritual. Make it part of your routine. And eventually it will start to sink in. But don't just say things as well. Then, at some point, or simultaneously, but I want you to just start saying it. Start to take action with things. Start to do that project you want to do. Start to practice that skill. Do it as well. So action as well. But you've got to merge it with the words that you use. And it requires practice. If you need to go and see a psychologist to help you, practice the techniques. Go and do it. If you need to go and fucking meditate, go and do it. If you need to go and read a philosophy book, I don't know who, on Stoicism or some other philosopher, Nietzsche, it could be anybody. Go and do it. But just make sure that you're practicing the positive self-talk. When I say go and read literature on it or study, don't find some guy who's negative, dour and foreboding and self-effacing. I'm not saying do that. But anything, find someone which will aid and facilitate your growth in that way. It's just so important. Once again, when you see like sports people, entrepreneurs, actors, musicians, successful people in general, they all have positive self-talk. 90% of them will, because it's just inculcated into their psychology. And then the actions come, and then the actions will then inform the language, and the language will inform the actions, and it becomes a little cycle. But it has to be practiced. And people they all say, I can't even change. Yes, you can. It's a lame fucking excuse. So it has to be practiced, and it has to be nurtured, and you have to make it a ritual, a daily ritual. If you have to write it down, write it down. Me personally, I have very positive self-talk. I always have, and I always will. Because why would you be cruel to yourself? Why do you not want to be? Why do you not want to be an ally to yourself, a companion to yourself? Why do you not want to back yourself? It doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't do it to your friend, would you? You wouldn't do it to your mother or father or your sister or your brother. You wouldn't speak to them like that. So why speak to yourself like that? In fact, you'd probably tell them the opposite. You would say, you're great. Yes, you can do this. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. So reverse that language that you give to other people to yourself. If you are one of those people who denigrates and brings other people down, well, then you're a piece of shit. You need to change that as well. Just thought I'd put that out there. But I think you get what I mean. I hope this helps. I really do. So start making it part of your life. The language that you use in your mind to talk about yourself, make it positive and practice it. Okay, cheers. Speak to you soon.